Hi, welcome back into the studio and let's have a wee talk. Last time I did say I was on vacation, and I think a lot of people were like, where did she go to? And like I mentioned in my old video, I was taking time off for myself. So now we're going into the groove of making new videos and having a quick chitty chatting with among ourselves. So the whole purpose of the channel, like I said, is just mix and match. We will see what we find, what we don't find in our treasure box of mindset. So the first thing this morning is to just make it clear to everybody that I took some time off for myself, and while I was taking this personal vacation to clear my space, I had few tools, few things, souvenirs I found as I went about my daily space, daily vacation. So I like to share that with you. So come on in, let's have a quick chat and I'll show you some of my souvenirs. First, I got some cards that helped me through my daily devotion, my daily thinking, my mindset rebuilding. I needed to dig up the old mindset and pick out what I needed and what I don't need from it. What I felt was going to move me to the next stage of my life, I took it with me. What I felt I didn't really need, I binned it. So because I've binned it and I've got space to add some to it, hence the saying, learn, unlearn, relearn. It's that big cycle of recycling your mind. We have to renew our mind all the time. So back to what I was saying. So the first thing that I'm going to say is the whole vacation took me to a beautiful space. Now, while I was there, I couldn't see things clearly. I saw hatred, I saw kindness, I saw anger, I saw all the emotions, and I sat with them and I enjoyed them. Not in a good way, but also in a fun way. But I had to go through all this emotional, purging from my head. But there was one place that I always go to. That's my safe space. If you are a religious person, if you of any religion you find yourself, if you believe in God, if you do all the things that I do, I believe in Christ. So I had to go to the one safe place, my refuge. So I found something that I needed with him, which was one of my small tiny cards. So this card says, see everything through the eyes of love. This is the hardest bit. I couldn't see some situation through the eyes of love. I was so mad. So, but to come back to God, I had to see through his eyes. And this is one of the things I found. This is the acknowledging God's truth. See? This is acknowledging God's truth. Because everything we do, we have to acknowledge God's truth. And what is God's truth? Seeing everything from the eyes of love. So if God is love, we have to acknowledge it. So like he said in this card, this is 1 Corinthians 13, 3-5. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. Sometimes I was jealous, sometimes I was boastful, so excuse me. Or proud or rude. Tell me. Proud, being rude, I was to some people, even to myself. It does not demand its own way. So this is part of the things I was trying to take off my dirty list. Not standing in my way, not being jealous, not going through like different emotions and not understanding what they are for. So please, if you are like me, get out of your own way. Okay, and see things through the eyes of God. And it says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So because I know I am standing on my own space, standing on my own way, I had to like move myself away from it. So this was something I needed to do quickly and move myself away from it. So what did I do? And according to God, it says it's time to be adventurous and play. I had to go back and play. I had to go back and do things that I love. I had to go back and be myself. I had to go back and say, God, this is not working for me. this is working for me. So I started checking, what kind of play do I like? What kind of play do you like? So it says the flower are springing up, and we are almost in the season of spring. So the season of singing birds has come, and the cooing of turtle doves fills the air. So this is the season of love. The spring is coming, and please spring into action. Go and have fun outside. And my last card, spend more time outdoors. Yeah, spend more time outdoors. Go and play. They are like trees planted along the river bank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all they do. This is from Psalm 1 verse 3. So what I'm trying to say in essence is I needed to just get out of my own way, see things through the eyes of God, see the pains through the eyes of God, see happiness through the eyes of God, see anger through the eyes of all your emotion. You need to see through the eyes of God. That's the first thing I needed to do. Because I was able to see through the eyes of God, I had to step away from, as we say, blocking myself, blocking my space, blocking my spiritual, physical, mental, emotional space. The moment I moved myself, I then walked into God's, Garden of Eden, which is going to the park, having time at the beach. What else did I do? Oh, singing nonstop, screaming in my house, watching movies, reading books, chatting with friends and family. I was able to set myself free. Most of my times were spent outdoors. So if you are struggling, please step out of your way, see through the eyes of God, and always ask, what am I learning from all these experiences God has presented to me, you, and all of us? So as always, people and I, step out of your way. People and I, see through the eyes of God, and people and I, go outside into the spring season, spring into action. It's a time of rebirth. Try and renew yourself. Like the Christians will say, it's the time to be born again. Bye.